Hello everyone, welcome back once again to Priyan classes. I'm Prabhat Kumar. Today I am going to discuss about the derivatives. Just remember my last class when I have told you or I promised you also that the chapter of derivatives will be divided into three parts. First part I have given earlier, and now today we are going to discuss about the second part of this chapter. In this part I will be discussing how to find out the derivatives or how to differentiate the combination of functions or a different type of combination of functions. Okay, till now I have in the last class I have given you how to how to find the derivative, how to differentiate a function by fundamental rules or by the first principles. Okay, so now let's take some examples. The type of functions that I'm going to discuss is the first function. What I'm going to say is differentiation of different types of functions or combination of functions. Okay, so first type of function that I want to take is just take constant function. Let's take a constant function. Now what do we mean by a constant function? A constant function means a function whose value remains constant. For example, if I say y equal to fx and that is equal to k. So whatever is the value of x, as you know, x is the independent variable and y, value of y will be dependent on x. But in this case, whatever will be the value of x, value of y will always be k. And such graph, if I say this is x-axis and if this is the value k, then the graph will be going like this, that is it will be parallel to x-axis. Okay, so if just listen to what I'm saying, that what was the meaning of differentiation? What is the change in y with respect to a change in x? That is what we find when I say dy by dx. So what is dy by dx? This is what, as per concept, this is the change in the value of y due to the minimal change or extremely small change in the value of x. There will be change. But in this case, what I am saying is that whatever is the value of x, let it be changed to any value, there is no change in y. So what does that mean? That change in y will be 0. So in all cases, wherever there is a constant function, the differential coefficient of that function will be 0. Okay, so if the function is constant, then the differentiation will be 0. Okay, so now this is what. Now similarly, if I take a constant multiplied by a function or a function multiplied by a constant thing like y equal to k multiplied by fx. Y is equal to k multiplied by fx. So in that case, once again, you see, if this is k, then I can write dy by dx will be equal to d by dx of k into fx, or it can be written as, because k is just a constant, so whatever is their change, it will be multiplying with the same constant number. So this I can write it as d by k can be taken out and it will be d by dx of fx, or dy by dx is equal to k multiplied by f dash x, as I can see. So this is the effect of a constant. If there is only constant, the differentiation will be 0, And if the constant is multiplied by some other function, constant can be taken out and it will be just k multiplied by f dash x. Okay, so now let's take about the third type of combination, like sum or difference of two functions. Okay, so suppose that y is equal to fx plus maybe minus gx. So fx and gx are two different functions. This is y. So if I go by the first principle, how will I find out what is the value of dy by dx? Let's denote it by another function, that is phi x. Okay. So if I have to find out, then what I will do, I will take delta y equal to phi x plus h, or x plus delta x minus phi x. Okay, so dy by dx will be phi limit delta x tending towards 0, phi x plus delta x minus phi x divided by delta x. Okay. Now what is phi x plus delta x? This is actually fx plus gx, so it will be fx plus delta x plus or minus gx plus delta x. First thing. Second thing will be fx plus or minus gx. Okay, and this complete divided by delta x. Okay, now I will separate this, or I will make some rearrangement in this. If I make some rearrangement, then this is delta x tending towards 0. I can write it as fx plus delta x minus fx. Okay, and if I take plus minus to this, plus or minus gx plus delta x minus gx. It can be written like this because this plus minus will go on to this point, and then this is divided by delta x. So now just take these two, like if I say like from here and then from here, it can be divided into two parts. So it will be limit delta x tending towards 0, fx plus delta x minus fx divided by delta x plus or minus limit delta x tending towards 0, gx plus delta x minus gx divided by delta x. Now you see, what is this? This is just f dash x, or the differentiation of fx, and this is what? Differentiation of gx. So I can write it as, instead of writing this, I can just write as dy by dx is equal to d by dx of fx plus minus d by dx of gx. So this is what? If y is equal to fx plus or minus, depending on the case, of gx, so it will be d by dx of fx plus minus d by dx of gx, or I can say it as f dash x plus minus g dash x. Means if the functions are added or subtracted, there is no problem in differentiating as, just differentiate both functions separately and make the operation as it is in the original function. Okay, so this is how we have to find out the differential coefficient of a function which is a combination of or which is sum or difference of two functions. Sum, in case of sum, I can say sum of more than two functions also, but in difference, you know, it can be only between two functions. Okay, so now I am trying to explain you some other kind of combination, like I have explained you how to find out differential of sum of two functions, difference of two functions. Now product of two functions. For this rule is called product rule. So product rule, that means कि y is equal to product of two functions fx multiplied by gx. Y is defined as product of two functions, and remember, whenever I am saying it as a combination of two functions, means both these two functions are limit existing, they are continuous, and they are differentiable in the entire domain. So for this purpose, again, I am assuming that the limits are existing for these two functions separately, both these two functions are continuous, and these two functions are differentiable also separately if I take. But now since this is a product of function, now how will we can define it as or how we can differentiate it. Okay, so again what I will take is y is equal to 5x. The first step is like this. Okay, now going by the first principles, my delta y will be what? 5x plus delta x minus 5x. Till now, no problem. This I have been doing earlier also. Okay, so this is what, so delta y by delta x will be equal to 5x plus delta x minus 5x divided by delta x, or when I minimize the difference, then I will get dy by dx. So dy by dx will be equal to limit delta x tending towards 0. Okay, so 5x plus delta x minus 5x divided by delta x, and let me put the value now. So what 5x plus delta x is? Fx plus delta x multiplied by gx plus delta x minus fx multiplied by gx divided by delta x. Okay, this is what we are getting. Now I will add and subtract fx plus delta x multiplied by gx to the numerator. Okay, I will add and subtract this number to the numerator. Okay, so what I will get? Dy by dx equal to, you see, this will be f limit delta x tending towards 0, f x plus delta x into g x plus delta x. Now as I have said, I am adding this or subtracting this, or I will subtract this then add this. So first I will subtract minus fx plus delta x multiplied by gx, and then plus the same number fx plus delta x into gx. Okay, and then minus the remaining part fx into gx. Got it? I have subtracted and added the same number. So this is not going to make any difference in the value. So the next step will be grouping. In grouping, I will take these two at one place, these two terms and these two terms at one place. In these two terms, what I am saying is there is one common factor. F x plus delta x. You can see this is a common factor. So what this will be, what will be remaining there? The remaining portion will be g x plus delta x minus gx. Okay. Similarly, from these two, I can see gx is the common factor plus gx multiplied by fx plus delta x minus fx divided by delta x. Bring these two separately. Fx plus delta x multiplied by let me write it in some other way. Just write it as this: fx plus delta x multiplied by gx plus delta x minus gx divided by delta x plus limit delta x tending towards 0, gx multiplied by fx plus delta x minus fx divided by delta x. Okay. Now, since just take an assumption. I have already said in the starting of this question that both fx and gx are continuous functions. Both of them are differentiable functions also. So if this is so, since fx is a differentiable function, okay, differentiable and continuous function, that means that limit delta x tending towards 0, fx plus delta x will be equal to fx, because we can take it to be 0 because there is no indeterminate form, as I have explained in my first class of limits. Just remember my first class when I was explaining limits, I have told you about some of the indeterminate forms. It is not getting any indeterminate form, so I can write it as limit of x plus delta x will be fx. Now, other thing, this is first thing. So when I operate limit, this term will become fx. Now what this is, when I operate limit, this becomes d by dx of gx. See, g x plus delta x minus gx divided by delta x. So this is what? D by dx of gx. In this term, gx, no problem, and this is what? D by dx of fx or f dash x. Okay, so what I am getting is, here what I am getting is, this becomes fx multiplied by d by dx of gx plus gx multiplied by d by dx of fx. Okay, or fx multiplied by g dash x plus gx multiplied by f dash x. So how do we get the rule? For differentiating or finding out the differential coefficient of product of two functions, I can write it as, if y is equal to this, okay, so then dy by dx will be, just take it as a golden rule, that it will be first function multiplied by differentiation of second function, okay, plus second function multiplied by differentiation of first function. This is called the product rule. This is called the product rule. Like, simple is the thing that you have to differentiate first function. First you take first function as it is, differentiate the second function, then you take the second function as it is and differentiate the first function and then add it. So this is what you will be getting, the differential coefficient of product of two functions. But the problem is, what will happen if you get a product of three functions? In that case, let me explain you that also, so that it can be generalized for the product of, for getting, if a function is a product of three or more functions, it can be generalized. Okay. Okay. So now I will take another example where y is equal to fx multiplied by gx multiplied by hx. Okay. Now you see, here y is a product of three functions. How I will get it? Get the differentiation. Okay. Functions may be of any kind. It may be algebraic functions, it may be logarithmic functions, it may be exponential, it may be trigonometric, it may be reciprocal, whatever it is. Okay. So now what I get? Just let phi x is equal to fx into gx. Okay. So now when I have to find out dy by dx, okay, I can say, instead of y will be equal to y, I can take it as phi x, because fx into gx I have taken as phi, and multiplied by hx. Okay. So dy by dx will be what? As I explained earlier, first function as it is multiplied by differentiation of second function h dash x plus second function multiplied by differentiation of first function. Okay. So this function I know. This is what? So this is what? Now replace the value. When I replace the value, what is phi x? Phi x was fx into gx. So it will be fx multiplied by gx multiplied by differential of h plus hx and d by dx of what? Fx into gx. Okay. From the product of three functions, I converted it to product of two functions. Then I differentiated it. Now in this case, once again I am getting, at one place there is a differential coefficient of a product of two functions. Okay. So now I will use the same method to differentiate this part also, because this part has been differentiated already. Okay. So fx multiplied by gx multiplied by h dash x plus hx. Okay. This is not to be differentiated. Now in this, it will be now fx multiplied by g dash x, as I told you, first function multiplied by differentiation of second function, and plus second function multiplied by differentiation of first function. Okay. Now open up the brackets. So now what it becomes fx into gx multiplied by h dash x plus hx multiplied by fx into g dash x plus hx multiplied by gx multiplied by f dash x. Now what do we see? Okay, if you are not getting this, I will rearrange. Okay, when I rearrange it, you see what happens. Fx multiplied by gx into h dash x, take it as firstly. Second, I will take fx into hx multiplied by g dash x and plus gx multiplied by hx multiplied by f dash x. So what do we get? It was having three functions. Okay, so what I took is I differentiated the first function and took the first two functions as it is. Okay, second term is second function differentiated, other two functions as they were. In the third, I differentiated first function and other two functions as they are. So let the function be a product of three functions, let it be for four functions, let it be for 100 functions. Just keep on differentiating one by one in each term and the other terms as they are. Keep there, multiply them, and you will be getting the differential coefficient of product of any number of functions. Okay, I think you must have understood how we can differentiate a function which is a product of two or more functions. Okay. Okay, so now I will discuss how to differentiate a function which we are getting by dividing one function by another function. That is, if y is defined as fx by gx. This is the problem that I am getting and I have to differentiate this. Okay. Before arriving at the formula or before giving the formula, I will go by the same rule. That means the differentiation by first principle. So by when I say take it as I have told you that y, I will take it as phi x, y equal to, so delta y will be equal to phi x plus delta x minus phi x. Okay, what it is? So what dy by dx will be equal to? This will be equal to limit delta x tending towards 0, phi x plus delta x minus phi x divided by delta x. Okay, so if this is so, I will replace the value of phi and it will be then limit delta x tending towards 0. For phi delta x, it will be fx plus delta x divided by gx plus delta x minus fx divided by gx. Okay, and for the sake of convenience, I am writing delta x separately as 1 divided by delta x. Okay, now I will simplify this. For this will become limit delta x tending towards 0, fx plus delta x multiplied by gx minus fx multiplied by gx plus delta x over gx plus delta x multiplied by gx. Okay, till now I don't think there is a problem. Okay, now for that purpose I will be now adding and subtracting. Add and subtract fx into gx on the numerator, fx multiplied by gx to the numerator. In this case, I will write fx into gx. Okay. Add and subtract both things. I will write fx plus delta x into gx minus fx multiplied by gx, what I have set here. First I have subtracted, then I will add the same thing, fx into gx, and then minus this thing, minus fx into gx plus delta x divided by gx plus delta x multiplied by gx multiplied by 1 by delta x. Okay. Now see, from the first two terms, there is a common factor, gx. It can be taken out. It can be taken out. So it will be delta x tending towards 0. It becomes gx multiplied by fx plus delta x minus fx. Okay, this is f gx I have taken common, then fx plus delta x minus fx. Similarly, from there also, I know I have to get a minus sign there also. So I will take a minus there. Okay, I will take a minus, or take it plus if you want to make it more clear. Take it plus. Now from these two terms, what I am getting, fx is common. Okay, so fx will be taken as common, and the remaining is gx minus gx plus delta x divided by gx plus delta x multiplied by gx into 1 by delta x. Okay. Now my next step will be, see, again, as I have assumed that both fx and gx are continuous functions, both fx and gx are differentiable function, so I can say, since gx is a continuous as well as a differentiable function, that means limit delta x tending towards 0, gx plus delta x will be what? Just gx. Okay, this will be just gx. So using this, when I use, and this delta x will be dividing both these two terms. Delta x will be dividing both these two terms. So what I get is limit delta x tending towards 0. I am further rearranging it, gx plus delta x into gx. Okay, first thing. Second thing, okay, let's take, don't take it there. Okay, now gx multiplied by fx plus delta x minus fx divided by delta x. Okay, and now instead of plus, if I take it as minus, just see, instead of plus, if I make it minus, then both these signs will be reversed. So if I take a minus sign, I can make it like that, fx multiplied by gx plus delta x minus gx divided by delta x. Okay. Now, as I have explained just now, this becomes, this gx plus delta x will become gx, so this will become gx square. So it will be now 1 by gx square, okay, multiplied by gx and what this is, fx plus delta x minus fx divided by delta x, and when I operate the limit, what do we get? We get f dash x. Okay. Similarly, minus fx, and what this is, what? This is g dash x. So finally what I am getting is dy by dx is equal to gx multiplied by f dash x minus fx multiplied by g dash x divided by gx whole square. This is what I am getting. Okay, so I can write it in a generalized way, or for the sake of understanding, just to see what we have got is dy by dx, denominator multiplied by differentiation of numerator. Okay, first denominator multiplied by differentiation of numerator, and minus numerator multiplied by differentiation of denominator. Okay, and then total is divided by denominator square. This is, I can say this as a quotient rule of differentiation. This is what quotient rule of differentiation. I will use the same thing for getting some very specific result. How will you find a differentiation? When a function is defined as a reciprocal of a function. Okay, I will do it like this. Okay, so now I am doing with reciprocal function, that I will do with the quotient rule only. That means suppose that y is equal to 1 by fx. Okay, y is equal to 1 by fx. Now how we can do this? Just see, 1 is a constant function. If I take the same quotient rule, so what will be dy by dx? Dy by dx, as I explained to you, it is denominator multiplied by differentiation of numerator, so d by dx of 1 minus numerator as it is multiplied by differentiation of denominator, that is f dash x. Okay, and denominator will be fx square. Okay, so now what is the differentiation? In the starting of this class I told you 1 is a constant function and differentiation of a constant function is 0. Okay, so if it is 0, then this whole term will become 0. So this becomes 0 minus f dash x divided by fx square, or dy by dx will be equal to minus f dash x divided by fx square. Okay, very simple. This is the simplest method for this. You can also do it by the first principle, by taking x plus delta x and delta x and like that. So that I am not doing this because I am leaving this for your practice. Just try yourself and do it from the first principle also. Okay, so now the very toughest part, or I should say, some people say it is the toughest part or the toughest combination, and I say it is the easiest combination. Okay, this is not so toughest because what is this? Function of a function means y is defined as function of g of x, means what it is? G is a function of x and f is a function of gx. So this is what? Function of a function. Okay, so what? Y will be equal to f gx, like this I can write. Now if I have to differentiate, for example, you can see if y is equal to x raised to the power 3x plus 2. Now you see, x, y is a function of x, but it is, the power is already a function. This is one function and this is another function. So in such cases, how do we differentiate it? Okay. I will take, suppose that I get like this function of a function. So in that case, just go with the first principle. Okay. From the first principle, what I get is, just take y as I told you that this, take phi as gx. So what is y? F of phi. Simple. If I take phi as gx, then y is what? F of phi. So what will dy by dx? Let's write it there only. If phi is equal to gx, then y is equal to f of phi. So what my dy by d, because in this case I will find out dy by d phi, not dx. So I will find out d phi. What this is? Limit phi tending towards 0. Okay, so f phi plus delta phi minus f phi divided by delta phi. Okay, now what this delta phi is? This delta phi will be equal to, if I say this is what? Now this delta phi will be equal to, put the value there also. So this will be what? Delta phi tending towards 0. So what f phi plus delta y? It is gx plus, what is delta phi? Change in the value. So that will be g x plus delta x minus gx. Okay, minus what I'm getting is f phi. F phi is what? So it is f gx, okay, divided by delta phi. Again, for delta phi, what I will write is g x plus delta x minus gx. From there I am getting these two guys cancelled, and from these two terms what I am getting is limit phi tending towards 0, f has been taken common, and this is what? G x plus delta x minus gx, okay, divided by g x plus delta x minus gx. Okay. Now, since phi is tending towards 0, that means this is also. Now, what I will do is I will multiply and divide. I will multiply it and divide by gx plus delta x minus gx. Okay. Multiplied by gx plus delta x minus gx and divide by the same number, that is gx plus delta x minus gx. What I'm getting this? This is what? Basically, it was delta x only. Okay. So now, it will be taken as, now you see, this is what? If I take this term. See, as I said, gx is a continuous function and differentiable function. So when delta x is tending towards 0, gx will be same. So the whole product is tending towards 0. So in place of this, I can write it as h also. And now no need of delta phi. Now I will be writing delta x tending towards 0. So it will be delta x also. Same thing, because it is also tending towards 0. So f of g into x plus delta x minus gx divided by delta x multiplied by gx plus delta x minus gx divided by gx plus delta x minus gx. Okay. Now just rearrange. I will rearrange it, and after rearrangement, what I get is dy by dx equal to, see, this denominator I will take there and this will be taken there. So this is what? F multiplied by g x plus delta x minus gx divided by g x plus delta x minus gx multiplied by g x plus delta x minus gx divided by delta x, and limit is delta x tending towards 0. Okay. Now what I see is this part, particularly this part. This is what? Differentiation of the function f with respect to gx. Okay. Y was what? Y was function of gx. Function of a function. So I have differentiated f with respect to gx first, and then multiplied by, this is what? Differential coefficient of gx. So what I say is f of f dash of gx multiplied by g dash x dy by dx. Okay. This is what? So in any case, in any function, if you are getting it as a function, as I have taken you an example that y is equal to, I will explain this with the help of an example also, so that it can be easily understood how you have to. Okay, so now just take an example that y is equal to sine of 3x plus 2. Okay, y is equal to sine of 3x plus 2. So just take, because either you expand it, or the simple way will be just take z equal to 3x plus 2. When I put it there, I get y equal to sine of z. Now instead of differentiating y with respect to x, I will differentiate it with respect to z. So dy by dz will be equal to what? Cos z. Okay, dy by dz will be equal to cos z. Okay, so cos z means dy by dz is equal to cos of 3x plus 2. But this is dy by dz. I have to find out dy by dx. Okay, so I will take from there. If z is equal to 3x plus 2, then dz by dx is equal to what? 3 multiplied by 1 plus 0. So it is equal to 3 dz by dx. Now, if I have to find out dy by dx, that means I have to find out dy by dz multiplied by dz by dx. That is cos 3x plus 2 multiplied by 3. So this will be 3 times cos 3x plus 2. This is the way that we can find out the differential coefficient of function of a function. There is one more part in this chapter which I will be discussing in my next class. For till then, I would like to say goodbye. But before going, I once again request all of you to please subscribe and like the channel, so that you can be getting informations of all the upcoming classes. Okay, so goodbye. Thank you.